All right, Chris. Got some props for you today.
Yeah, usually it's me bringing the props, but today you brought the props.
Can they see this on camera here? A little box of something good. We'll have a little taste test here later after. I'll keep this on here. And
it doesn't look like they were Pop-Tarts in there. I'm a little worried.
These are like super Pop-Tarts. They're expanded.
I don't think so.
It's my new recipe.
I'm worried.
Yeah, I didn't know Pop-Tarts. They have English and Spanish on the same nutritional chart. That's pretty interesting. Another week has gone by. Last week, Mike came over to me and said, you ready? I'm like, I'm not doing it. So I wasn't feeling it. I forget what I was doing, but something more important.
Yeah, what were you doing? Filming a video, maybe?
Yeah, I think I was installing something.
Yeah. Brakes. There you go.
Something like that.
And then, so this week we're here, but then what's coming up for the next few weeks here?
Yeah.
We won't be back for a little while.
I don't know what I'm going to do with the podcast. We'll figure something out, but I'm going to the mountains. I'm staying there. I'm not never coming. I may not come back. There's a good chance. I may just stay there forever. Cancel all the plans.
But you're going for at least 3 weeks, right, or something like that?
Yeah. Yep.
Closing Tuesday.
Yeah. So we close on the Helen House on Tuesday. We get the keys, that afternoon. And then we begin that night when we start cutting drywall and running electrical and building the garage. So step one is the garage. I'm sure we'll talk more about it here today. But the dream is about to become a nightmare reality until the dream is realized. People always miss the steps in between. The dream, then there's reality, and then there's the live in the dream sort of thing. But reality requires quite a bit.
Yeah, Jeff and I spent a lot of yesterday and today going and calling and getting internet set up, power, gas, electric, pest control, lawn maintenance, trying to figure out exactly what's needed. And it's an odd address name to tell people that.
Yeah, we also have to work. I'll talk to Bryce about this, but I got to figure out how to get the address added to Google because it's not there.
It doesn't show.
No one's going to be able to find it.
Oh.
I think that the previous owner liked it that way, so he had owned it in LLC and made sure to keep the address off the books, if you would. And I'm going to try to put it on the books, so I'm going to have to try to undo that work that he did to get it off the books. So I want people to just Google search and get there. We're gonna have to send them like an old MapQuest,
They got to print it out.
yeah, directions. So that's something we got to work on.
We got
myself a runny nose here.
Yeah, you're not sounding all that great. You getting over?
Yeah,
I know Michelle and the kids were sick.
Yeah.
I'll
make sure I get you sick.
Yeah. Come over this way a little.
I don't think we carry the same strain. I don't think I've ever gotten one of your illnesses.
No, we're good about that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Never go down at the same time.
Yeah, right.
All right, let's see. We got a couple Milwaukee questions here to get you started. A little warm up here.
Okay.
Matt Hune in the chat. Are you guys able to order in Milwaukee hand tools, ratchets, wrenches, sockets, etc.?
Yeah, I mean, I'd really appreciate it, but I wouldn't waste the time if I were you. By the time we get it to you, could have had it from Home Depot or from toolnut.com or something like that really quickly. It's funny, I was just working on the hand tool catalog, just building out my spreadsheet of what I think I might like to try, and so I'm about like 30% of the way through that catalog, and my process is to shop the PDF catalog file from the bottom of Milwaukee's site, and then just go through and build the spreadsheet of everything that I might have an interest in, and then order it up, and then from there build out a list of things. There's some things that like my interim goal would be to take Sonic Tools and to supplement Sonic Tools with Milwaukee Tools, and then someday the long-term goal would be to have like the best tool of each category. Like let's say Wera makes the best screwdrivers. We have Wera screwdrivers, and shoot, it may even get granular in that somebody makes the best flathead, somebody makes the best Phillips. I'd love to get to that point, but that's going to take years, and luckily, hopefully I have years to work through that. But for the time being, I have access to Sonic, which I've been very public saying, I don't think Sonic makes the best tools. I think they make really good tools, and their foam inlays are the best. So when you put that combination of their organization and and really nice tools, certainly the best tools I've ever owned, and you put that together and you end up with a nice combination. You cut out, Snap-on's great, but you're stuck with that model of buying from the truck where there's like 3 layers of margin, so you're paying 3 times what that cool tool actually costs, which I'm okay with paying a margin, but at what point do you draw the line? I'm not sure.
Another quick Milwaukee question from our Canadian friend Philippe. Hey Matt, do you have the Milwaukee C-clamp set in store that you have the tray included for the toolbox?
No, not yet. But that was the last grouping of clamps I just went through. It's like a vice grip C-clamp thing, and so I decided, do I want the specialty ones designed for metal, and I have to decide. So I ordered them all, and we'll see which ones I like.
I had one more Milwaukee question. This one from Finney Abraham in the chat. This is probably asked a million times, but what is the go-to Milwaukee power tool to use? I'm in the market to get something to work on my cars.
Well, the one standard tool you want for wheels is the mid-torque. That's the best one. They're the best tool by far, I think, that they make. And so you get the mid-torque, and then you'll want the high-speed ratcheting. Start with a 3/8 and get the 1/4 inch. You'll use that a lot. The stubbies are really cool. The little stubby impacts are great. The right angle impact is great. I think you want them all. But also the new M18 tire inflator is awesome. Oh, yeah, Chris, you're going going
great.
down.
That's good. Well, good. I could use a little time to rest. That'd be nice. You stay at home and sit on my couch and watch Heartland.
That's where I was. I went home. I was all fired up. I started sweating, and I'm like, I can go take a nap.
Let's see.
Took some Dayquil. I figured I'd come in here and infect you while we're at it.
It's good.
Yeah.
This is what we do for the people to give them one last podcast.
Yeah.
At the cost of my health.
The sacrifices we make. Yep.
Bring your wood screws back in the chat for the first time in a while. Long time no join. Good to have you back. Joseph, this is a good question. Happy Friday, because I don't know the answer and I have this. What's the preferred method for cleaning vinyl plank floors besides a junk Swiffer? Or do you just always wear socks?
You go to Home Depot and get a floor scraper, and you scrape those floors up, and you throw them in the dumpster, and you get some real floors, because that stuff is nonsense. That's what I would do.
There you go. Or look into Bona, B-O-N-A, Joseph.
Just tear them out and get some wood or some tile or something real, not this nonsense. That's what I would do.
Jason wants to know if you're going to Monterey Car Week this year.
Probably not. I was kind of hot and heavy on the idea of going to that thing a couple of years ago, and then I just got
went
canceled.
1 year. Or no, you didn't go, but you were supposed to.
I was supposed to go, and then I was just like, it was too much, and I canceled a bunch. Remember, that was pre-COVID. I was on my cancellation.
Go nowhere, do nothing.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that.
It was like an epiphany. Like, why am I going all these places when I just want to stay home and play with my toys? And so I never went, and I don't know that I'd really like that very much. It's just a bunch. I don't like looking at other people's cars. It's not my thing. I get why people like it, but if someone go look at someone's Koenigsegg, it's not mine. What's the point? I don't know. I just not interested. Now, I've always been interested in auto shows. Those are cool because you're considering the pursuit, I guess. When I was younger. But even that, I'm sure not interested in that stuff anymore. As you get older, you kind of learn what you like, and if you're confined to a certain amount of time and energy, you can always make time for anything, I think. But I don't want to sacrifice the time and energy that I'm putting into something that I do have a strong passion or interest for, going to do something I think is kind of interesting. So, yeah, I don't think I'm going.
Joshua wants to know, hey Matt, how do you like the M2C equal length mid-pipe? Does it make the S55 sound tolerable?
All right, so here's the M2 saga.
Okay.
So, apparently the car that I bought was probably pretty modified, which they did a good job of not showing, so I could tell. So the reason we know is when we took the mid pipe off, you could see there'd clearly been some wrenching done down there, we got some new exhaust gaskets, put the exhaust on, and the valves wouldn't open. So I'm like, oh, that's interesting. So just thinking, well, maybe we had some errors, and so when I did the coding, we had EDC errors. We just need to get the EDC out because we did the brakes, the suspension, exhaust all at once, and so then everything went to crap. And so what I didn't realize is the exhaust valves were never opening. Even the stock, they weren't opening at all. So we kept having all these weird error codes coming up, and so I sent it down to PSI to do a rush job, get it aligned, and we sort of ran out of time to diagnose the problem. But I don't know what the equal link might sounds like because the exhaust valves won't open. So again, we ran out of time, but Mike and I are going to start, maybe we'll figure out how to manually cut them out or something. Figure out how to get them out of there. And then, when the Remus exhaust comes. So I think that the car probably had the ECU jailbroken. Which you got to be careful with that, because if it's not, you could brick the ECU. And so what I'm going to do when I get back, I'm going to give the car back to PSI. They put the ECU, the DME is like underneath like the engine, like underneath the intake manifold. So you have to like take the whole engine apart to get to it. So we're going to take it apart, see if it's been tampered with, and re-jailbreak it, and then see if that's the issue. There's something funky going on there.
We got a super chat from our friend Yoshi, $9.99 US. I guess he watched the latest video and saw Jeff was declared the property manager. He said, "Congrats to Jeff on the promotion." There you go, Jeff is now.
Yeah. So I guess we can get into the idea here, the plan. So I close on the 14th.
Tuesday.
Yep. Mm-hmm. So Wednesday the 15th is when we're starting the Win a Week with Matt.
Okay.
So you can go to obsessedgarage.com. You can buy anything Milwaukee. If somebody buys a master collection, they got a real good chance of winning. So for every $5 they spend on Milwaukee items, at the end of that 30 days, so on July, 14th, is when it'll end, or maybe July 15th. I don't know the exact date. It's in the rules. You'll see it on the site. But when the thing ends, then we will have we'll pick a winner. So every $5 you spend, somebody's going to win a week with Matt or not. So if you want a week without me, you can have that. If you want a week with me, you can have that too. You can choose. And while doing that, I wanted to figure out a way to give people the option to lock down and book a week, but I also wasn't 100% sure when I'm going to be ready. And so, but I also don't, this is Obsessed Garage. This isn't wishy-washy garage, right? And so I didn't want to give the perception that we're not going to go up there and frickin' kill it, and make this place amazing. So what we're going to do simultaneous to the giveaway, we're going to give people the option. You're going to go to destinationobsessedgarage.com, and you're going to be able to book a week. So from June 15th through August 3rd, you're going to be able to book a week for $5,000 all in, even. We'll pay the tax. We'll cover the cleaning cost, all the stuff. I don't know what this thing is going to cost to make it sort of break even, if you will. And so I think it's going to have to be somewhere in the $6,000 a week range, something like that. Maybe off peak would be a little less, but what we're buying in furniture and audio equipment and the garage and how amazing this thing's going to be. I think in order for me to just cover the cost, I think it's going to have to be a little bit more than it's going to have to be more than $5,000. It's not going to be 10, but something. My guess is somewhere around $600 or $6,500 a week, which this is a $2 million house. It'll probably be 2.5 by the time I'm all done with this. It's a $2.5 million house that's 5,000-6,000 square feet that you could sleep. We're gonna have enough beds for at least 14 people. So I think a lot of people are gonna break it up and get a couple of families, 2-3 families. So then to rent a place like this, I look at some of the places that my brother-in-law rents with my with Michelle, and they'll spend $20,000 for a week. For a decent house near the ocean, but nothing. There's not going to be anything like this. Not even people's houses, let alone a rental house, if you will. So I'm confident that the value that we're providing is going to be freaking awesome, even in phase one. So we're going to have phase one. Phase one is going to be furniture. Laurel and Michelle are up there spending all our money right now on furniture. Chris was questioning my sanity there this morning, making sure we didn't have some steal our credit card and go to Atlanta. So they're outfitting all the furniture. So phase one will be furniture, linens, the basics to live. And I realize that when you go on vacation, you don't need as much stuff as you do when you normally live. But I want to have it set up with enough stuff that we're going to live there for a month. And so I want to have it set up to where we have, like cookingware, bakeware, utensils. Because a lot of people, I prefer when I go on vacation to like have a kitchen. I can just go to the grocery store and not eat like an idiot and feel terrible the whole time, eating out all the time. So phase one will be, the garage will be hopefully complete or like 95% complete and functional and beautiful. Lighting and everything's going to be amazing. And then the furniture and towels and linens and bedding and all of that stuff will be in. We'll have a single like basic home theater set up. Then phase two would be like outdoor kitchen, closets, the home theater, office theater. I'm going to build the desk, those kind of things. Phase three, and so that phase two will probably be the winter this year. Phase three is going to be like more interior design, where we do more paint and probably change more light fixtures and fans, and really get the place looking different. Like rip out the wood burning fireplace and do a little bit more furniture and set up, get the pool table and set up the game room and all that stuff. That'll probably be in the spring, late winter. And then, phase four would be like something like I want to do a room where it has a racing sim / flight simulator, but like a world-class one. And phase five would be put the elevator in and just kind of get the place, really, really dialed. So I think it's going to take me probably a year and a half, 2 years to get to phase five and have it, so then I'm ready to go do the next property to finish the project. But I'm gonna have all kinds of cool stuff, and we'll discover a lot more stuff. The other thing we're hoping to get done in the next month is to get the DMF lights and change the color temp inside the house. But we're not going to do any painting inside the house in phase one. So what we're going to do is it's going to be a week only, so 7 days. So it'll be from Thursday to Wednesday. And so you'll check in Thursday at noon, and you'll check out Wednesday at noon. That gives us 24 hours to get the thing for the next person. And it's going to be a week only. If you want 2 weeks, I think there's going to be too many people that are interested in this to I want to give people the opportunity to book. So we're doing 7 days only, and it will be, the weeks are just going to roll. So week one is August 4th to August 11th or something, August 10th or whatever that is. And so that's week one. Whoever gets week one, that they own week one forever. And I want to create some sort of like plaque or something that we can have that like week one was Chris and Megan Haynes, you are week one forever, and the next August 4th is going to be week 53, and we'll just keep the weeks running forever. And I want to sort of do something with that. That's cool. We'll figure out some way to create some sort of loyalty program or something. I don't know. We'll figure something out like that.
Megan's very excited right now.
So the what I'm going to do, so we're going to sell weeks from August, from week one will be August 4th, theoretically. I'll know a little bit better in a couple of weeks to make sure we can get it done and set up by then, so the first people that could come in, they can at least have a decent experience. Like for early adopters are going to be early adopters. It's like buying a first generation computer or car. You're going to have to deal with. You're going to experience some hiccups. But if you have cups and a bed and some pillows, I mean, you're already ahead of most Airbnb garbage. Because there isn't going to be like puke on the walls and and sateen duvets that have stains on them and stuff like that. It's going to be nice, legit. So the first person, I know this is getting confusing. So the person who wins a week gets to pick number one. They get the first pick.
So available dates. Doesn't have to be week one, right?
Right. They can book phase 1, 2, 3, 4. They can book it 2.5 years from now if they want to. They want to wait till to experience the whole thing at the end of the project, whenever that is, which would be never. But they want to experience something further where they make sure that everything's done and we have all the stuff. Then they would, they could just wait, and choose week, 283 if they want to. But they get the first pick.
Okay.
If they want the week 1, they can have week 1. So then the first person to buy, so let's say we sold 30 weeks from the first, or from June 15th to July 15th. So if the first person goes in at 12:01 a.m. and they're the first person to book a week and they want to do number 1, they can do number 1. So they're the second pick. So we'll just do it by time. Whoever purchases the week the quickest, then what we're going to do is we're going to follow up. Starting July 15th is when we'll start following up. The reason I got to wait till July 15th is I've got to give the person who wins a week the first crack. And then people just book your weeks. So I want week 7, I want week 22, I want week 23, and we'll have it on the site where it'll correspond to certain calendar dates, so you can kind of fit it in. Maybe somebody wants to go Thanksgiving week, maybe somebody wants to be there, week 3, or their lucky numbers week 7 or something like that. They can do whatever they want there. And so by August 4th, I'll know what the normal pricing is going to be. So August 3rd will be the last you can book your pre-buy week, if you will. Theoretically, a person could book on August 3rd and be there on August 4th if nobody picked week 1. I mean, somebody might want week 1. I wouldn't want that, because you'll be the real guinea pig. We'll be on the phone with you half the time, probably trying to figure out how to make this thing work. But I think it's going to be amazing, and I think $5,000 for this house is insane. I would pay that in a millisecond, and then that helps me pay for the furniture and stuff like that. I mean, shoot, knowing this audience of crazy people, I mean, we might sell 50. Who knows? We might sell a whole year's worth. I don't know. We might sell 2. Who knows? But the goal here is to get people to get interested in it, to go and check the place out, and to spend a week there. The car probably won't be there until phase 2, or maybe phase 3, and set up. We have to build a rental company and figure out how to do that, how to insure it. We have to get the car, which earliest would be October, I think, September, October. So the car won't be an option until later, but maybe a GT3 will be an option. I think the GT3 is going to have to be more than the $2,000 I was saying, because of just the wear and tear on it. That's going to be the case. But the cool part here is I'm going up there and I'm going to share all this stuff with you. And I know this is confusing about this whole 15th to the 15th. Just think, you're going to be able to spend $5,000 and book a week for whenever you want it. And if you wait 2 weeks into that, next month to book your week, then you just won't have first crack. You might be number 28 or something like that, or 30 or 15, or you might be number 3 if no one buys this. But you can book it. You don't even have to know your date. You can just sit there and hold on to your spot, and then call whenever you're ready and say, hey, can I have week 72? I'm ready now. I've been watching. I think that's what a lot of people do. They'll just book and lock a week down. I've been watching to see when I find something that Matt puts in the house that I'm excited about. I'm going to kind of squeeze myself in there, going up all the time to book times that, or I'll book, times that people haven't booked, to go and do cool stuff and video that and share the process. So that's the plan. So Mike and I are going to be there till probably July 15th.
All right, Adam wants to know, will there be, obviously, videos coming from your time that you and Mike and...
Oh, yeah. Every single day. Probably more than one video a day. There will be videos inside the Hex. There will be videos, on the main channel. I'm going to be vlogging while Toda and Waba are going to be videoing. And so we'll be, cranking out videos every single day for the next month of all the progress and all the things that I'm learning and doing and screwing up and fixing and all that stuff. I'll be talking about a lot of the property management aspect, the business aspect, the cost aspect inside the Hex. I'll be showing the progress, the before and afters. It's going to be awesome. I think you're going to love it.
Aaron here in the chat says he's paint correcting a black Audi RSQ8 and it sucks. This podcast is keeping him going. What's up, Matt and crew? Hey.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like fun.
No, good work. Keep going, Aaron. We'll keep talking here for a while. Matt in the chat wants to know, how do you like the Viper fans? Do you think one would be enough for a 2-car garage?
I think you want 2. You could do 1 for sure, but I think 2 just symmetrically and air movement wise. I think it's the way to go. They're great. I mean, we're gonna have a solution for you so that you can control it wirelessly, but you can control it on and off wirelessly. So that's coming. But
there's a video coming out on that soon, right?
Yeah, we're gonna hold the video until they have them in stock.
Okay, gotcha.
Or we create a pre-order or something.
Benji says, "What's up, OGers from Hartford County, Maryland? When it comes to the Milwaukee M18 inflator, which high output battery would you recommend? 6.0, 8.0, something else?"
I think the 6.0 is the sweet spot for their HO batteries because they sell them in a 2-pack. And so that's the 8.0 is better, but I think the 6.0 is a sweet. You can pay like half as much because they only sell the 8.0s in single packs. So the 6.0 is the way to go if you're going to buy a 2-pack. Otherwise, the bigger the better. I mean, you can put a HD 12.0 in there if you want to. But, I mean, shoot, it'll run for like 15 straight minutes on a 5.0. So you're fine to run it on anything. But, yeah, I think 6.0 is the best value in the Milwaukee line of batteries.
Connor says, "Hey, Matt, my fiance and I just bought our first house. We're beginning to paint the interior. Do you have any recommendations for a satin white color for the trim?"
Yeah, for trim, I would do pure white. And I'd consider, and if you don't have kids, you can go with satin or eggshell. But I find that semi-gloss is usually what I prefer to do on the trim. But yeah, if you're gonna do satin, do Sherwin-Williams pure white. Another white that has a little bit more yellow to it is alabaster. Those are my 2 favorite whites.
Yaman in the chat says, "Hey, Matt, have you seen the mod that people are doing to the CR Spotless on YouTube? They delete the filters, fill the canisters with resin, put a long pipe down the middle, and claim the resin now lasts longer."
Yeah, that's messier, but yeah, that's from Glenn at RV Transformers. I think I'm crediting Glenn, but I think it was his idea to do that. But yeah, you're just getting more resin. The only problem is then you've got a mess that you got to deal with. But yeah, that does work for sure. More resin means more time.
Another quick Viper question here. Is there a benefit, Andy wants to know, to using the Viper oscillating fans over a quality ceiling fan in a garage?
I think so. I mean, they move air quite a bit more than a ceiling fan. I think ceiling fans really hurt your ability to light the garage properly because then you can't put lights above the fan because then you'll see the fan shadowing on the fan going across your lights. So I think that's the main reason to do ceiling fans. Plus, if your garage is air conditioned, you're pushing air. You're sort of creating a vacuum of new fresh air moving in the garage rather than being stagnant. I just think it does a better job of I might be making this up, but pushing the air out rather than pushing the air down. But the main reason is for lighting, so that you can have proper symmetrical lighting.
All right, Matt Hune has another question for us. In the process of redoing the walls in my garage, I'm setting it up for your custom install. Will the new eventual DI thingy that you're coming out with fit in the CR Spotless place?
Yeah, I mean, you might have to do a little bit of pipe refitting and cutting, but yes, it will. It'll be wider and taller. But if you have enough room, like if you leave, let's say you leave like 12 or 18 inches from the floor to the bottom of your CR, we're thinking that our unit's probably going to be about 36 to 40 inches tall. The CR, I think, is only maybe 30 inches tall. So you just need another 10 inches or so to work with.
We have a super chat here that then our guys addressed in the chat, but Joachim, 17 Danish krona, I think is how you say it? Krone, which is $2.40 US. Why aren't all podcasts uploaded to Spotify/iTunes? But they addressed that with them.
Oh, they did? Why? Yeah. Why aren't they all?
Yeah, they said they're all available on Spotify or Apple Podcast, so they should be there. And then there's some that are inside the hex. He was referring to like our crew casts that we've been doing each week. Yeah, those are inside the hex. Let's see. Jeffrey Roberts says, "Hey Matt, is the Jesscar Powerlock Plus and Colonite 845 combo something you would still use on any of your cars?"
No, I think there's no reason to do that anymore now that the modern coatings look more wax-like and last infinitely longer. So I don't find a need to use it any longer.
Yeah, man, 799 says, "Hey Matt, would you suggest using the OSFO stuff to clean the black funk that builds up on the aluminum rotor hats of stock M3 brakes?"
No, I don't think that OSFO will do well. I don't think it's good on aluminum. I think it leaves like white powder behind. So OSFO is really only for steel and iron, I guess.
All right, let's see. Bramovich wants to know, when can we expect the Active 2.0 video to be released? In the Dialed In podcast with James from Active Video, Matt had indicated that it would be released early the following week.
I think we're holding it until pre-order.
Okay, gotcha.
I think that they're working out. We're trying to get pricing as nailed down as quickly as possible so we can launch it, because it's going to break the internet, the pressure washing internet. So I think that's what we're hanging on to. The video's done. It's sitting up there. If you were real sneaky, you could. Oh no, it's private now.
It's private,
okay,
yeah.
It was unlisted, and some sneaky people were finding it.
It's an hour and 4 minutes and 45 seconds. So
yeah,
pop some popcorn in.
Yeah, I would guess soon.
As soon as you get pricing in.
James is working. Tommy and James are working on getting pricing.
All right, let's see. Mikey wants to know, have you seen the new Rupez HLR75E mini hybrid polisher?
Yeah, it looks really weird, doesn't it? I mean, it's a weird-looking thing. I'll get my hands on one. I do have the Rupez microfibers, their new microfibers to test out. But yeah, it's interesting. I don't know that I'm going to like it, but we'll try it for sure.
All right, Matt W. in the chat wants to know, do you have any sort of ETA when it comes to the website for the stuff that'll be in the OG house?
Yeah, so that's what we're actively working on. That site will be launched here right around the same time as closing to start to get the products built. It's going to be very infantile to start, but going to become extremely robust. I think you guys are going to really like it. Bryce and Mike T have been working on that tirelessly to get that set up where it'll have Hayfala, it'll have the Obsessed Garage closets. We need to come up with a name for those. It'll have all kinds of stuff, lighting, DMF, stuff like that. It's coming. We're working on it every single day, and it's going to be like the house where it'll be launched, it'll be operational, and then it will improve daily, just like Obsessed Garage has from the beginning.
Stint Placer and some other folks are asking if there's any sort of update on the lawn care nut in the lawn. You seen any progress yet?
I'm starting to see a little peak of green coming through, but we finally got some rain the last couple of days, so it's probably going to start to green up here. I think in 2 weeks, Michelle has to go put another layer down.
Just think when you come back home, it's going to look like a whole new yard.
Yeah, we'll see.
Jason McMaster says, "Hey, Matt, how are you liking the Milwaukee 15mm polisher? Do you recommend it over the Rupez and Flex as a first polisher purchase?"
I think so. Uh-oh, what's Michelle texting me? Oh, we got some rugs.
Yeah, if you're already in the Milwaukee ecosystem versus not in the Milwaukee ecosystem, that might make a difference. Huh?
Yeah. I think so the big difference between the two, the power cord, once you go electric, it's kind of hard to go back to battery power, it's kind of hard to go back to plug-in electric, especially if you're walking outside your garage to blow out your pads, like I do. The Milwaukee the balance is not great. It's you like, if you hold it in your hand, you use it like if you were detailing for a living, I mean, that Milwaukee is going to be really bad for your future nerve endings, if you will. Or the Rupez is just so much more balanced. That's been Rupez's thing. It's really impossible to replicate. So if especially if you have any kind of wrist or nerve ending issues or anything like that, or you're real sensitive to that kind of stuff, The Rupez is a much more balanced, much better choice. It still has more power, more torque, more capability. The Milwaukee is the right now the cordless machine. I think we probably just need to eliminate the Flex XFE15. There'd be no reason to buy that. That one's extremely underpowered, very smooth, but really underpowered. So, I just think if you were starting out, the Milwaukee will be harder to keep. The pad rotating, it'll be harder for you to manage because of the battery and the way that the machine is balanced. Like, for instance, the Rupez, if you set the Rupez on the hood and let go of it, it'll stand up, sit there right on its pad. So it's easier to keep that pad flat and balanced, where Milwaukee is going to tip backwards because of the battery. So from a beginning perspective, the Rupez is probably a smarter choice, but and certainly a balanced choice, but that battery just makes life so much better. And I'm certain Rupez is going to come out with a battery powered 6-inch at some point, or 5-inch and 6-inch. It would be interesting to see how that works, how their battery tech is, and who they opt to use for the batteries. I think I think I would purchase the Milwaukee. If I'm starting out, I think I would. And then I purchased the Flex plug-in 3-inch, because the Flex PXE80 is terrible to use. I hate that thing. It's just not great.
Sean Suriano in the chat says he wanted to say thank you for the honesty and upfront in the RYS, the Reserve Your Spot email this week. I know the wait will be worth it when I get my 1322.
Yeah, the fear of the guys, Brad and the guys over there is like, well, everybody's going to cancel. I said, look, we just got to be up front, and real people will understand real transparency. And they're kind of fearful when you look at the 1322s and you scroll through 300 of them. We've been 100, 200, 300 deep since we've been doing this for 4 years now, forever. And so I wanted to be sure that that we were able to be as transparent as possible. And putting that list together, it seems so simple, but it was kind of a pain in the butt to do. Mm-hmm. So I think we'll just keep publishing that so people can see where they're at. And I think most people will be okay with it. Okay, I'm 300. And then you can see yourself when a new batch comes. Mm-hmm. I think it's going to frustrate people when a batch of 40 comes and we have 550 deep. I think we're in a real rough spot in the world right now. So,
yeah, for those of you who aren't aware what we're referring to, so there's now a spreadsheet, a Google sheet. And so it lists the order number and basically what number that order number is in line when it comes to each pressure washer.
Right.
So right now, what is that? 266 1322s.
Yeah.
We got
it's only 200. 200 doesn't seem as bad, but you'll know where you're at roughly. If you ordered. I think we're into like late February now, something
mm-hmm.
like that. So March, April, May. So these people have been waiting 3 or 4 months for their pressure washer, which is super frustrating. I get it. That's the world. It's a freaking disaster. It's what you get when you take off freaking 2 months, European dumbos, and you stop doing that. Go to work.
Oh, good stuff. Good stuff. Stephen G says, could you go into quick detail why you prefer Ego blowers over Milwaukee? Got an active pressure washer in your recommendation and love it. Thanks.
The Milwaukee just doesn't really work. It has like half the output.
It's
just not good. And the Ego is like a legit electric replacement for a gas-powered leaf blower. It's like the first and only. The others they're super weak and just not designed really well. The batteries are great. The Ego's the one. They're the ones for this sort of thing.
Yeah, Steven, I have a Milwaukee at home, and it's fine for what I do around the house, but if you want anything legitimate, Ego really is way better. I get spoiled when I use it here. Hunter wants to know, can he have those Pop-Tarts? No, Hunter, evidently.
I forgot about my little prop here.
Yeah. We're going to get to that.
How many questions we got?
We got a lot. We're good. And are you seeing this on the side?
What is that?
How do you like your Pop-Tarts? Toasted? Stacked? I didn't know you could eat more than one at a time.
That's a
You probably
good
did that.
idea.
Yeah, just stack them in double
Holy
cheeseburger
cow!
style.
I'm going to do that forever now. Yeah.
Straight from the foil, or toasted, or frozen. I never know anyone who is frozen their
Frozen,
Pop-Tarts.
that's terrible. No,
No, that doesn't sound good.
I usually just like them just straight out of the box,
Yeah.
But I like that stacked idea. That's genius.
I'm not patient enough to heat them up either.
All right, so here's my little idea here. So we're going to do some smell testing.
Ooh,
So
I knew one Pop-Tarts.
yeah, this is the Midwest Fragrance Company.
Okay.
I can't smell squat.
Mm.
This is powerful enough to go through my current state of health right now. So it came with 71 different fragrances.
Wow.
Tommy and I just narrowed it down real quickly. We, by accident, narrowed it down to 35. So we cut it right in half.
Okay.
And then now I have it narrowed down to my top picks.
So you got, I saw Kate was helping.
Kate was helping me as well.
Okay.
So the concept here is to create a signature scent for the properties.
Okay.
And a signature scent sounds really dorky and girly, but I like certain things, and this is why I like scents. And so I'm going to figure out a scent that works really well. So Kenna and Doug own the Midwest Fragrance Company, and Doug is a Obsessed Garage super fan.
Okay.
He's probably listening right now. And so they have a company that does like bulk wholesale fragrances, but they also make candles. So I want this to be like reed diffusing. So when you walk into the Helen House, you have a certain scent, and then when we get Highland House, it would have a certain scent.
Nice.
And then we may have Garage will have a separate scent. Okay. So these were two of my like special edition scents that I think we're going to come up to. One is called Leather, and one is called Roasted Pine Cone. So check those two out.
Okay.
Roasted Pine Cone would be so Leather would be for a garage.
Oh yeah, that's nice. Got a new car smell.
Yeah,
Leather.
yeah.
That's nice.
So I'm thinking, I wonder how that would translate in, a reed diffuser. So you're talking about a bottle with these rods, those bamboo or I guess wooden rods sticking out, and you flip them over to scent the room. And I know this stuff works really well in comparison to my Tarmac that I really liked because I broke one of these, not this one, but broke one on the floor, and my whole house smells like crazy.
Ooh.
Doesn't that smell like Christmas?
Yeah, that smells better than I thought it would.
So that's our Christmas scent.
Yeah, that's nice.
Roasted pine cone.
That's good.
So now the rest of these, so these wouldn't be like our signature for the house. These would be like a special edition for something. So now let's see if we can narrow this down. I'm interested in your opinion on which one we would do. And I have these are just in random order.
Okay.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 is what I narrowed it down to. So this one's called Coastal Waters, and it has.
Save this one for the beach.
Yeah.
Beach house.
Shoot, I can't smell anything. My nose is about to start drip running. Yeah, I like that one. I need to go get some.
Let's see. While he's gone, Dr. Phil was pretty sad. I didn't see Matt or Chris competing last weekend at the ACC. Dr. Phil, I was there all weekend. I was actually the head scorekeeper. So if you were there, you probably saw me sit at that table. Matt was not competing. His competing days are long gone. Long gone. Let's see here. What else we got? Lots of points on the Amex. Yeah, Philippe, you're right about that. Charlie, any chance to get Mom and Dad on the podcast to get the real dirt on Uncle Matty? Maybe. His mom, that's pretty much the last thing on earth she would want to do. But we'll see. Let's see. Super chat. Frank L, $11.11. Hey, Matt and Chris, thanks for doing these podcasts. Keep up the good work, Rose. Well, thanks, Frank.
So that Coastal Waters is a real subtle.
I was going to say it's not as powerful as the other ones, but that's nice.
Yeah. Okay, so that's one. So we call this. Yeah, I think this smells just really clean to me.
Yeah,
so
that's a good way to put it.
We'll put that in the middle, because I'm kind of
fresh linen.
Yeah, that's a good call. So this one's called Volcano. I think it might be a little sweet.
Yeah, that is sweet. It smells like Kool-Aid almost.
Yeah, that's a good call. I don't think that suits the
I don't
Helen
think
House.
you'd want.
Yeah. So let's move that over to the left. That's a
That would have
keep for some purpose maybe,
Yeah.
but not for this.
Sweet.
So this one is fresh mint and eucalyptus.
Mm.
I like this one a lot. The one thing I was trying to stay away from is I don't want a cologne type smell. I don't want it to smell like dudes, or like perfume. I want it to be like a natural scent.
Yeah, it's got a little hint of Irish Spring in here.
That to me feels like this could feel like the mountains to me. So I think this goes in the possibly pile.
Okay.
Then you got high tide. High tide. This is another one of those kind of clean, very similar to coastal waters, kind of a clean laundry type smell.
Yeah, I like the coastal waters better. This has like a cucumbery scent in there somewhere.
Yeah, that could be a real simple.
See, this is like a good bourbon tasting we're doing here, but we don't actually drink it.
That's more like a spa type smell, I think.
Yeah. That's very light and airy.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the middle. I'm not looking to like walk in the house. You have this overpowering smell. I'm looking for it just to have a certain feel to it. So this is lavender, and so I like it, but I don't love that.
Yeah, this smells like you're getting a massage. Like lavendery.
Yeah.
It's nice. I don't think it would. I think Michelle would like that.
I think this one called Blue Ridge. This is the one that Kenna thought would be the one. Kate really doesn't like this one, but I think
that's also kind of sweet. Blue Ridge. It's
think,
unique.
Yeah, that's what I think. And this house is very unique. So that could be a very unique scent for this specific house.
I like it.
The only thing I'm struggling with is like none of these are like the tarmac smell. Now I'm going to have them try to replicate tarmac, but none of these are like that where it's like, oh my gosh, this is it. That is the one. So those two are current front runners. And then we have black, amber, and lavender. So I think if I had that versus just lavender, I think I like that better.
Amber.
So that's just lavender.
Yeah, this one has
A little more wood smell to it.
More woody and
yeah.
What's the angel wax one? That's the woodier one.
Bliss.
That's kind of blissy.
Even's a sweeter, yeah.
Yeah, I like that better than the regular lavender.
Yeah, I think the lavender goes in the middle. This is sea salt and orchid, which is also very unique. It reminds me of this house.
Ooh. That has a hint of old lady to it, though.
Does it? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Then
It's like old lady perfume.
Let me see.
It's nice, but yeah, it's like hugging your grandma.
You're right. Yeah. Let's get the old lady out of here. Cactus and sea salt.
I love my grandma. I just don't want to smell it.
This to me smells like showering again, clean.
Mm-hmm. Okay, just sea salt. That's kind of nice. It's clean.
Yeah.
See, I'd almost wonder, like in a house, okay, well maybe, do you want the same scent throughout the whole house? You want consistency, or do you want like the laundry room?
I think where do you draw? You can't just like paint a line, and this is where
have 23 different ones all colliding.
I think all we can do is the garage and the house. The house has to have a scent to it. This one's called Dragon's Blood. I kind of like that one.
Oh yeah, that's definitely more manly, less fruity, less sweet. Although it kind of has a incense vibe, like you're walking into a Spencer's Gifts in 1998.
Oh shoot!
Smell that.
You're right. Yeah, that's got to go in the middle.
I don't think that's.
Yeah. And this is bergamot sandalwood. No,
this is great for radio.
I don't like that one.
Yeah, that has a little bit of funk
to
it.
Yeah, get that one out of here.
I don't like that one either.
So back to our 3 tops. We have black, amber, lavender, blue ridge, and fresh mint eucalyptus.
No, my microphone smells really good.
Yeah, that one's good. The only thing I'm afraid of Blue Ridge is it has a little bit of reminding me a little bit of like sour. Like, there's almost, it's like right on that edge of sour laundry.
Ooh.
You know?
Mildew. No. I could see how you get there.
But not.
Yeah.
But it could.
I really like the smell. Just, I don't know if I'd want my whole house smelling like that.
Yeah. I think maybe this is the one.
Yeah, that's good. It's unique. And it's not too fluffy, not too fruity, not too sweet. But also not like Spencer's Gifts, whatever that one was.
I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to get these 5 from them, get them in a larger quantity, and get them in a candle. Because not all of these are suited for like, for aeration. So I think I'm going to have them create these 5 for me. Not bad now from 71.
Yeah. The Blue Ridge is nice.
Yeah.
I like that. And it's a fitting name.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, anyway, this is the kind of stuff, the reason I did this on the podcast, this is the kind of stuff that I do with everything. It's obsessive. Just think about it. Play with it. Test it. And you have to draw the line somewhere. I think this is where my value set to the world comes in, is somebody has to make a decision. And I am not afraid to make that decision. And so I'll just do it and take a leap, and that's why Obsessed Garage exists. And I think that's my biggest value, prop or biggest superpower of the world, is to be able to chase things because I'm super interested, but eventually just make a pick. And I think people are buying stuff from us. We have 300 something people buying pressure washers from us because of that.
All right, let's see. Omega Detailing, LV. Hey, guys. Big fan here. Do you have any tips for convincing a commercial space to allow me to detail my cars in a swamp-cooled place? I live in a place that's 112 degrees with 20 to 30 mile per hour winds. That sounds terrible. Maybe LV is Las Vegas.
So he's asking to...
Yeah. Any tips for convincing a commercial space to allow me to detail my cars in a swamp-cooled place? I don't... Lavenders, yeah.
Meaning he wants to just let him use it, or he wants to, pay to, lease it?
I don't know. Omega, give us some more details. We'll come back to that maybe. Wayne just got his M18 inflator yesterday, and it's going to be super useful.
Yeah, it's just good to have. It's making me... I'm not even going to put an air compressor in at my house, because the only thing I'd do there would be generally just fill up tires.
Cars with JR says Destination OG will cost more than $5,000. After experiencing all the awesome products, I would want to spend another $5,000 in the OG store.
Yeah, I mean, that's part of the hope. The way I think about this from a business perspective is that, and a wealth perspective is that, well, first, I probably should diversify my holdings outside of just marketable securities and then Obsessed Garage, an inventory, right? And so what is starting to happen is I'm starting to own various real estate because we need it for functionality. I bought the lot here next door. I bought the lot I'm going to build my house on. Of course, I own the house here, and I own the building up north that Curated is in. Who knows? I'll end up buying more property as we need it for Obsessed Garage, and then of course buying the houses in the mountains, and then figuring out a way to make those properties perform. So by accident, I always say this often, people are always talking about trading stocks or getting into rental real estate, but you have to like that, and I don't like any of that. So I hire a financial advisor, and he does the stock stuff that I really don't have a passion for anymore. And then I, wanted to figure out a way or have accidentally figured out a way that the byproduct of this from a business perspective is that I really love this concept of buying some muse that I can go and put all our cool stuff in it and focus our energy on something that I own rather than on somebody else's house and doing the labor just to create the content. So it becomes a content source for our stuff. And then if it's going to sit there idle, like, it doesn't make any sense for me to have 5 houses all over the place if I'm just going to them once a year. So that's where the concept is, if I could share this with other people. But the goal isn't to become some real estate mogul or a real estate investor. The goal is not to be a rental guy to rent things out to people. The goal is not even to have the house make me a bunch of money. The goal also isn't to sell the stuff to the few people that rent it a year in the house. Those are all things that make it a profit center rather than a loss leader, something that you just do spend money on to hope to market your products. So the goal for me is to have a content hub. And the content hub, if I create content, then I sell stuff. The result is that people then vote with their wallets and they come here and they buy things. So I think about these properties as a way to generate interest, so the long-term benefit, the big benefit to this is that when I show you what pillows I'm putting in these rooms, I hope to then be able to offer those pillows to you through Destination Obsessed Garage, and I sell a pillow to 1 million people. The goal is not to sell 5 pillows to the 30 people a year that rent the place, that borrow the place. Yes, I want them to do that. Yes, that will help me pay for the property. But the bigger picture is to think, I'm playing chess here, not checkers. If you're playing checkers, you want to just get a rental and you want to make as much rent as possible. And then I think that's where it goes awry, because in order to pay for all the crazy stuff I'm going to put in this thing, I have to charge $15,000 a week. And then I'd have to really fight it. I'd have to open it up to everybody, and I'd have to really market it and really make that the business. But that's not the business. The business is to sell, individual things to people. And the way that I drive the business is by doing it passionately. I have a real interest in the house. I'm buying a house that I want. I'm putting stuff in it that I want, and then I'm sharing that with people via content. And so the general theme here would be to sort of add up what this house costs, get an idea of how many people are borrowing it, price it accordingly, and give people an experience that's much, much less costly than it would cost if I were to be in the rental business. And it's still going to be costly for people to rent the thing, but not. This math wouldn't work if I was in the rental business. Instead, you're going to Dollar Tree and you're going to try to save as much money as possible. I'm not doing that. I'm buying the things not to show off or not to buy the best of the best. We're not going to have the best of the best things if I don't care about it. I just want towels that function really well. I'm not going to go buy $300 towels that are $300 a piece just to do that. I'm going to buy towels that I think are good. And this forces me to go try to find towels that are better than what I've been using. I'm going to buy knives, but I'm not going to buy a $10,000 block of knives, but I might spend $1,500 on one. That I might have spent $1,500 on those knives in my house. So that's the thesis here, or the plan is to be able to charge people what makes sense. I just think it's going to, the cost of things are going to be quite a bit more than what I had originally anticipated, just because of how sophisticated the house is. So, for instance, I thought it'd be $5,000 all in, but I don't think that's going to cover it. It'd be great, if the house made some money. That'd be cool too. Then I could pay it off quicker. Then I could really make some money, and then I have a diversified pool where I never have to compromise. That's the key, is to try to build a business where you don't have to compromise and have to start doing things just to survive, and it can still stay I can stay in the here and now and stay in the present of what is really exciting to me, and not have to go and we have to just start selling our souls to survive.
Joshua Lawrence here in the chat says, "Hey Matt, just wanted to let you know that your customer service reps are better than the ones at my bank."
Well, that's
Thanks,
good.
Joshua. I hope so. One of them used to work at a bank, so that's good. Daniel will appreciate that. Spencer says, "Hey Matt, I'm wanting to get a few carbon fiber pieces for my 2021 M340i, like side skirts, rear diffuser, front lip. Where would I go? Also, thank you for turning me into a huge I&D fanboy."
Yeah, I mean, I'd go to I&D and ask them. I don't know that car particularly very well. I generally try to buy, if I'm buying carbon parts, try to buy M Performance, because a lot of them look kind of weird. So I don't know if M Performance BMW makes, the BMW Performance division makes anything for that particular car, but there's lots of good companies: Vorsteiner, Mode Carbon, 3D, RKP. So there's lots of companies out there. You have to find what style you're looking for. The forums, Bimmer Post is a great place to go to and start searching around what vendors are selling and see if you can find photos of ones that you like, and then you can go from there.
Steve Rose wants to know, have you tried Active's short gun yet?
With the prototype, yeah, it's okay. I'm not in love with it, like I am the pressure washer. And I don't know how viable it's going to be. But we'll see what the production version. I only messed with the pre-production one.
Kevin wants to share with us an OG moment he had recently. He had the oil changed on the car. 4 mechanics are staring at my engine. The lady walks over and says that's the cleanest engine we've ever seen. Had to show it off. It's pretty good. And let's see.
Yeah, regular people are baffled by just the simplicity of taking care of your stuff. It's funny.
Alien wants to know, hey Matt, any chance you've watched Linus of Linus Tech Tips home theater build? Would like to see you rate or roast other people's home theater builds.
Huh. Yeah, I haven't seen it. I'll have to check that out. I do like Linus a lot, but I suspect it's probably terrible. And now you're making me want to go look at it. Yeah.
Ooh. Dune Wild says, Pop-Tarts and a pizza oven are unreal. Pizza oven. Interesting.
Yeah, a pizza oven to me is too specific.
Is that like heats up super hot pizza oven? I guess that's what he's talking about.
Yeah.
Matt Hune says, my life has hit a new high. Not a new low, a new high. I'm watching a video podcast about Matt sniffing things while he's sick with a head cold.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah. That's a good one. That's a good observation.
Let's see. Hey, Matt, this is from Mick. Were you going with the RKP rear diffuser on your E92? I tried ordering it and think it might be discontinued. Seems like there's hardly any decent options available anymore.
I wasn't listening. What did you say?
Were you going with the RKP rear diffuser on your E92? I tried ordering it and think it might be discontinued.
No. Yeah, I don't like the rear diffusers on E92. It doesn't really work. They always come off, and I don't think it needs anything back there. I think it looks great.
My Big West says, hey, Chris and Matt, thanks for the tour when I was up there in April, and thanks for the quick shipment. Hey, you're very welcome. Yeah, we have visitors almost every week, a couple of days sometimes. Dave says, Chris seems to have a good nose for scents. Oh, thanks, Dave. A lot of that is due to the bourbon tasting, and you pick up a ton of scents and different things like that.
Yeah, Linus doesn't know what he's doing here. He's buying SVS speakers.
Have to email him.
He got this all for free. That's why he's doing this.
High Fly Sugar says, you guys are great. Thanks for doing what you do. I live in North Georgia and fly fish near Helen in the Soquel River often. It's absolutely beautiful there.
Can you give us a fly fishing tour and teach us?
High Fly Sugar, email us.
Yeah, please. I need some. I don't want to fly fish. I want to just fish. What do you call it? Not bait. I don't even know how to bait cast. Bait cast. I always get those all wound up. Just a freaking regular flip up fishing thing. Not a. I don't need like a Zebco, where you push the button on, but what do you call it? I'm an idiot.
They'll tell us.
Total idiot.
So High Fly Sugar.
But I want to go put some waders on, and I want to go creek fishing, river fishing, creek fishing. Not river, not deep river, but like where I can walk around and hike a little bit to it, and I want to do that. Catch some brown trout and some rainbow trout. That's what I want to do.
Kevin has some good feedback here. So I'm just a regular guy sitting here at work listening to a couple of dudes sniff stuff because one of them uses really nice car soap. Nothing to see here. I use really nice car soap, just not as often as he does. Derek says, "Hey fellas, Matt, what is the best one step and with which pad?" Thank you.
I think I do a yellow pad, Rupez yellow pad with Sonex Perfect Finish. A lot of people talk about the last cut. Check out the Rag Company boys; they'll tell you that. But I should probably get a hold of that and try that out.
D. Weberus, he always comments. He finally has a good comment here. "This is the weirdest podcast so far." And then someone else said something about just when you think the water taste test podcast can't be beat. That was a good one too.
I knew you would like this one today. It would get you real motivated and excited for me to bring a Pop-Tarts box with some fragrances in it. Yeah.
Ryan says, "I always like a sandalwood scent if there's one of those." Yeah, the bergamot and sandalwood. Yeah. We'll go back to that, but Improved Garage Super Chat $9.99. "I'm making my Milwaukee list for the giveaway. Can't wait to meet Matt and family in person." There you go. He's declared himself the winner already. That's good.
Yeah, Michelle. I'm sure you guarantee you could convince Michelle to come. If you wanted the whole family, the whole package, bring the dog and everything. By the way, your dog is not allowed at my house. My dog is barely allowed at my house. So no freaking dogs.
No dogs. Okay. No dogs allowed. Yoshi says, "This is some riveting stuff. If only we could smell it." Yeah, that would be kind of cool.
I find it so interesting when people comment in the videos like, "Man, I don't think you understand. Like, people who have the means to do this kind of thing aren't going to want to be questioned about their their validity." I said that's like the perfect vetting. Like that guy would absolutely not be allowed. Like people that I'm looking for are people that are successful, that are clean and organized, that aren't entitled. Right? And there's a lot of people like I don't get any sense of entitlement from you. Right? There's certain people that I gravitate towards that just don't have any sense of entitlement. Like who's another example?
That's good. I think that's a good thing.
I think like Jeff doesn't have any sense of entitlement in him. Some people just don't have it. They're not entitled. They just do, and then you get when you aren't entitled. And like there's lots and lots of customers that aren't entitled. Entitled doesn't mean we can't have a conversation about something that isn't going right. But like, the person who should be most entitled in the world is John. We're going to do his garage. He should be entitled. He spent hundreds of thousands of dollars. He's not a lick of entitlement. I know stuff. He has the money to do it. We do it together. Like there's no sense of like entitlement or arrogance on either side. Like I know the stuff that he doesn't know. He wants it done. He has the money to do it. Like it's just there's a lot of people. There's not a lot, but there's a good percentage of people out there that are like that. And so if you just can't comprehend that, you can't understand why someone would not mind having a conversation about what you're going to do with my frickin' house, even though you're spending money on it, is like if you're having a hard time with that, then you know that you have a strong sense of entitlement. I come across as very, very particular, but I have zero sense of entitlement, like none. Like I feel imposter at all times. Now I'm going to tell you when I don't like something, but that's very different than being entitled. I wouldn't tell you I didn't like it. Like if you let me come and stay in your house, I'm not judging you. I'm making a decision of whether or not I want to come there again. Right? But I'm not judging you. I'm not thinking less of you. I'm not feeling like you owe me or you should be giving me something. In fact, I would much rather you not do anything. Just give me the keys and I'll take care of it. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't need to be waited on. I don't need to be, at times I'd almost rather show up and just leave the cleaning supplies there. I'll do it myself. You know what I'm saying? And I think there's a lot of people out there that are like that. So I think that we only have 52 weeks in a year for this particular property, of which we could probably only give it out maybe 30 or 40. So there's 30 or 40 people that think the way I think is what I'm looking for.
MX304 says, coming soon, obsessed essential oils. Like Scentsy without the multi-level marketing.
I'm just looking for something good, and then because I'm chasing it pretty hard and I found some experts in this, I think I can probably turn a lot of people on to something that I like, and if I like it, then save you the trouble. Are you going to be able to buy 71 different scents and try it out? You probably could, but do you want to? I know you don't.
Nope. This was plenty. That's good. And you bought them. No, you didn't buy them, probably.
Yeah, they just
they were nice enough to provide us.
But I'm gonna buy a zillion dollars worth of them if it works out and people buy it. So the tarmac is amazing, but it doesn't work. Like my whole house, you walk them out, it doesn't smell like anything. So I'm gonna try to replicate that. Or I'm gonna call them and find out why isn't this working.
Yeah, mine it's like a surprise when I do smell it now. It's like, hey, this is nice, and then it's gone.
Yeah,
for like a week.
Mm-hmm.
Little homie 86. Hey Matt, I'm looking for a new thermostat for the house. Do you have one that you can recommend?
Yeah, I'm not a big thermostat guy, but I have the EcoBees. Should probably get one for the house. I just don't care about that kind of stuff.
Let's see. Jeffrey says his friend Jan just quit her corporate job and now owns a candle company. Serenity by Jan.
Interesting.
Check that out. Okay. Improved Garage Super Chat, $9.99. Where'd it go? There it is. UPS just came and brought me a pair of blonde Evoque 20s. Can't wait to get them unboxed.
Yeah, so good.
All right.
So I think we're going to do an Evoque theater in the basement of the Helen House. Evoque 50s, Evoque Center. We'll hang Evoque 20s from the ceiling and do a Dolby Atmos setup. And then I'll decide what subwoofers I'm going to do.
Now we're going back to Omega Detailing. 110 degrees, 20, 30 mile an hour winds. He wants to lease a space for his detailing business, but every time I mention auto detailing, they hang up on me. And yes, gotcha. He's in Las Vegas.
That's interesting.
Offer to detail their car.
I would probably talk, not auto detailing. I would talk about your obsession for things and how clean and organized and structured you are, and don't lead with it. Kind of tell your story. So I would lead with telling the story of, sometimes this works and sometimes it doesn't. It just depends on if you get somebody who's susceptible to a story or not. But a landlord is looking for a good tenant. And so I would approach it from their perspective and talk to them about, what kind of tenant. So I would try to dodge talking about detailing as much as possible and talk about, who you are and what you're about and how structured and organized you are and wherever you're at in your business life and some of the mistakes and the wins you've made and, what you're looking for. So I'd make it about that. If you can get through that, then maybe they won't be as susceptible to hanging up on you. Because the reason they're hanging up on you is they probably had some bad experiences with some detailers. They don't pay their bills. They make a mess. They mess up the place. They get water everywhere. And so I think you could very easily overcome that by discussing who you are, what you're about, and just approaching it from their side. That's what I had to learn how to do when I'm trying to convince companies to let me sell their products. Forget my story. Think about telling my story from their perspective, what would matter to them.
Yeah, that's good advice because Omega Detailing, we get lots of no's around here as well. James Clark, hey Chris, I thoroughly enjoyed the OGHQ Tour 4.0. Thank you. Was so surprised I didn't get a shout out whenever you tried out that new hat. Those are new. They're nice. I've been patiently waiting on Richardson's. Yep, still no ETA, James, on the Richardson hats. They're tough to come by. Andrew says he wants to buy a Sabre cabinet for the garage, but the drop ship is almost as much as the cabinet costs.
Yeah, you can't really buy one.
Yeah. Have any spares I can pick up, Matt?
No, they're all, they're welded together, and so imagine you've got to put it on a pallet, and a single individual pallet charge is minimum $400, and then add distance to that. So if you're in California, it's coming from from Virginia, you've got an $800-900 charge to get it across the country. On how much are those $400 cabinet? $400 cabinet has like $100 in profit, so you can't eat $800 of shipping costs with $100 in profit. Just think about that logically. I just shipped 4 wheels in boxes, and it was $360 to ship it, UPS. So, and that's with heavy discounts.
Kevin McGee also had an OG moment recently. His car was in for service, and the look of shock that he got when he declined the courtesy wash and bath. It's probably a good idea, Kevin.
Yeah.
Christopher Dede, I appreciate this one. Front gate bath sheet towels are fantastic.
Yeah, that was also Troy Reed was telling me about those, and I was on the site for hours and hours, and I decided they're like $60 a towel or something like that. I'm going to probably get those as our second round, but I did the or maybe they're like $40 a towel or something like that. I need 40 of them. There's 5 bathrooms in this place, and so I bought thresholds, and I've been spending. If you watch the vlogs, I bought thresholds and washed them. I did thrice. I'm saying they're thrice washed before I even get there. Yeah, so and that's the sale. So the bath sheet is like $60.
I love a good bath sheet though. They're huge.
Yeah. That to me that's a bath towel.
Yeah,
a bath sheet.
40 by 72. Yes.
Yeah. That's the way to go. Because otherwise my waist it can't fit. You know what I'm saying? I can't tuck it in.
Yeah, it's not good.
Yeah, I need it to wrap around. There's a lot of.
I need extra.
Yeah. We're not some freaking babies here.
That's funny.
So yeah, front gate is something. And I bet you their sheets are good too. I bought Brook linen sheets. They're about as good as the Target towel. So they're good. Better than what I have at my house. I've got some whatever Bed Bath & Beyond junk. So once I find this stuff, then I'm gonna repurpose it for myself. But I have to get started somewhere, and I'm having to buy like $100,000 worth of furniture like in one day. So I'm taking it easy and one step at a time.
All right, let's see. Ken Jeeper says, thanks for the Count the Zebra Cake shirt. You're welcome, Ken. You did good on the area. That was part of my tour video. I don't know if you watched it or not. I gave away a shirt to whoever could count the number of zebra cakes that appeared.
And he won?
Yep, Ken won it.
How many were there?
21
okay.
was the correct answer. Dune Wild, we're going back to your fishing thing you were wondering about earlier.
Okay.
Open reel, bait caster, not bait caster, open reel.
Open reel, yes.
There's an open reel and a bait caster. One has a bar you flip, the other you control with your finger.
Correct. That's a bait caster. I know that.
Okay.
So open reel is what I'm thinking of, yeah.
Let's see.
Oh, my Dayquil's wearing off. I'm dying. You're screwed.
Yeah, I'm not coming in.
Hopefully this this scent will help neutralize it a little bit.
We'll see. Any scent that smells like squash. Gross. No, we don't want squash. Are firearms allowed at Destination OG? If so, are there places to shoot nearby?
Yeah, sure. I don't see why not. I'm sure there are as well. That'd be something interesting. Yeah, I don't care. Bring your guns. Bring your guns. Protect my fortress, if you will. But I don't know what we'll do with that giant Fort Knox safe room we got. Maybe we'll fill it with guns and grenades and stuff. That'd be kind of fun.
The grenade room.
Yeah. I don't know what the liability would be like for that. You could borrow the house, and they're worried about me having a mid-rise lift. Yeah, so, yeah, I think just don't tell me about it.
Let's see. Serenity by Jane is a reference to The Office that just went over both y'all's heads. LOL. Oh, I missed it. I like The Office, but yeah, I didn't catch that. Let's see. Super chat, $17.99. No, 17 pounds sterling and 99.
Ooh.
From Luke Newman. Hey Matt, will the Helen House be available to guys from overseas? Would love a break from gray old England someday.
Heck yeah, anywhere, anyone. I just think that we're going to, I can always be convinced, but I think we're going to do it in 7-day blocks. So, if you're going to come, not blokes, blocks. If you're going to come over, if a bloke comes over from old UK and wants to spend 2 weeks there, I think we want to limit it to a week at a time, just to give people an opportunity to go and borrow the thing.
Neil tells us there are several shooting ranges near and in Helen. So there you go.
I would think so. This is God's country here, people. You got God, country, and guns. This is Georgia. And
Ken tells us there's a winery close by. We need an OG winery tour.
Yona, whatever.
Yeah,
Yona
he said Yona is actually pretty decent.
Yeah, I don't give a crap about that. You won't be seeing any
No Matty Wine videos.
No.
David Dominguez, we're going to Facebook. A couple questions real quick. How many Cree LS fixtures would you recommend for a standard 2-car garage?
You probably want at least 6 8-footers. I would probably say 9 8-foot fixtures. You spread out symmetrically.
All right, and then another Facebook question here. This one is from Anthony Gherkin. If past me made poor choices and got a Sunjoe 3000, should future me get the Sunjoe Solutions package or get out of the Sunjoe entirely and worry about foam cannon and gun then?
I just think it depends on how long it's going to be for you. I would rather have the stuff, the gun and the wand, the foam cannon, just kind of hide the pressure washer behind the corners. You don't have to see it, and then you won't even know. The nice thing is you can repurpose all that stuff, just change the tips. So if you can swing it and you do a new pressure washer, do it. But if you can't, I think that getting the accessory package will remarkably change your user experience of that Sunjoe nonsense.
Neil in the chat here says it would be amazing to get someone from Germany to stay in Helen just to see the look on their faces at all the fake German buildings.
Yeah.
True. And all the roads are named weird German things.
You might want to have them go out the back gate.
All right, let's see here.
I'm telling you, the level of this house, like the amazingness of this house, is going to overcome any of that cheesiness. And then having the ability to go to a restaurant somewhere if you want to is going to be worth it.
We got a few Instagram questions to get to here. Hey, Chris and Matt, this is from AJ Shanks. What chemicals have you found benefit from a Pressall industrial sprayer instead of the domestic? I know Brake Buster is one of those, but is there anything else?
I don't know. I think anything that'd be alkaline may benefit from it, but I haven't really tested that a whole heck of a lot. They both seem to work about the same. It's just detailing chemicals aren't super caustic, so it's not that big of a deal, I don't think. But yeah, I don't really have much of an answer for that.
Captain Brett Cat says, Hey guys, love the show. Have a floor drain in my garage.
Nice.
But it's just a sump pit, so I have to pump it out when it's full, and it's a pain.
Yeah.
Anything you would suggest or do if it was your floor drain?
Yeah, I think I'd just let it ride, and then, the chemicals kind of do the job of keeping it clean, I would think, killing mold and stuff like that. The frustrating part is probably all the dirt and grime that builds up in there. I'd probably be inclined to, when I was about to clean it out, I would probably dry it out so I could vacuum, it quite often. I think that's probably what I'd end up doing. Get the liquid out of there, so when the sump, pumps everything into whatever the tank or the thing you lift out to dump it out, I would probably let it dry out, or put some sort of fans in there, dry it out, and vacuum it out every couple of 6 months or so, something like that. But I think the nice thing about using a bunch of chemicals is that it's probably going to kill anything that might be in there living.
MW Nightingale says, if I have a dedicated 20 amp circuit for my K1322,
Yep.
would you recommend a larger nozzle than 4.0?
You talking smaller nozzle? No, just the smaller would be to squeeze more pressure. No, the Krenzle is pretty sensitively calculated. You want to be 4.0 or 4.5. You don't want to really mess with anything else outside of that. If you go larger, then it's not going to work. You're gonna get like 600 psi out of the thing. So you want to stay. 4.0 is the magic number for that.
Going back to tools for just a second, this is from Jake Doherty. Everyone knows Sonic has the best cabinets and tool organization, but are the tools themselves in the same class as something you'd find with Snap-on, Matco, etc.?
Yeah, I think it's comparable. I do think Matco and Snap-on are probably better overall, but I don't have a lot of experience with fancy high-end tools. I just find that whole tool game, they're just ruining people's futures. It's like for-profit colleges. They drive around and they get people that are making $80,000 or less, $50,000, $30,000, $20,000, and getting them to finance their lives away to get a Snap-on Toolbox. I just think the whole business model is it's not shady because people know what they're getting into, but I just don't like that whole methodology. So I'm not a super big fan of us having financing on our website. Really, what I want financing for is if you're gonna if you're making $380 and you want to build your $200,000 garage today, and it's just cheaper for you to borrow some money to do it for now than to take money out of the bank. I would prefer. I wish that we had financing solutions for that. But the idea of you leveraging your future and you're always on a payment plan for your getting tools that have 3 layers of margin, just that just ruins it for me. It's part of the reason why I never went down that path. But I'm sure that some Snap-on stuff is better. But the Sonic stuff for what you're getting, I think, is a decent value, and I think that the organization overcomes. I mean, like Snap-on Toolbox is terrible. I don't understand why anybody buys that in comparison to a Lista box, or even the Sonic stuff. It's a joke. And those toolboxes are like $20,000, $30,000, $50,000. They're terrible. It's the worst cabinet I've ever seen out of any of the toolbox cabinets. I'd rather have a darn Craftsman. Those are junk. So there's just a lot of cheap secondhand stuff inside of all the tool lines that I don't love.
Let's see here. Bagger Bro wants to know what's your favorite ceramic coating. That's an easy one.
Yeah, CSL XO from G-Tech.
And we have more on the way. It shipped yesterday. They've been out for a while, so we were out. Ken says, Helen is such a bizarro tourist town. Luckily, the area around it is gorgeous, and there's cool stuff.
Yeah, it is really weird. That's what took me so long to pull the trigger on this thing.
Yes. There's also one in California, because when Megan and I were out there, we were driving and just ran across this random weird German town.
Really?
Solvang. I just looked it up.
Huh.
I think that's the one we went to.
That's weird.
Yeah, we didn't even mean to go there. We just all of a sudden were like, where are we? Jay says, hey, Matt, is anybody from OG staff coming down tonight for BMW Invasion Night at Ace Cafe in Orlando?
I don't know.
I don't know either, Jay.
Yeah.
Christopher
I
Dede.
wish I could. Can't.
Oh, yeah, you're going tomorrow, right? You're hitting the road.
Yeah, I can't make it that far.
Christopher Dede wants to know, is there an updated ETA on your Gentleman GT3?
I talked to Tom about it at Porsche of Wilmington. He thinks September, October.
Super chat from our friend Martin, Alligator Window Tint, $5 US. Forgive my ignorance, but how would you compare Lista to MSS or MSS Plus?
Lista is not as pretty. Lista is, just to give an idea, like an MSS Plus, let's say a 720 millimeter wide, 8-drawer cabinet, I don't know, probably weighs 300 pounds, where a Lista weighs 700 pounds. Lista has Austrian drawer glides that hold 440 pounds apiece. But Lista isn't as pretty. It's not as functional for a regular garage. Another analogy I use often, I was talking to the Moduline guys years ago about trying to buy Moduline stuff for my garage, and I was comparing them to Lista, and they said, well, our Moduline cabinets are made on Lista cabinets. So they manufacture them, like their manufacturing facility has Lista cabinets.
Right.
But, you're talking about a heavy machine shop, right? And so, Lista is the sort of the gold standard. But it's, it's going to be more money, and it's not as pretty. But it's fully customizable. But that customization means it's paralyzing to figure out what to do. And so we have a 4-person team now in the design team, so now I feel like it's the time to chase Lista. So we're going to do Lista in my garage at my house here. But, a Lista array is probably up to, 20, 30 grand now. So it's probably going to be more expensive than Sonic, but we'll see. That's why I'm pulling the Sonic out of my garage, and we're going to order Lista. And I'm going to order it while I'm up there, because it's going to take 3 to 4 months to get. So,
All right, 2 last things here. One, speaking of garage design, our friend across the pond, Luke, when OG UK arrives, will there be a UK-based garage design team? Very little competition here, and they're definitely not OG spec.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, that would be a dream. It'd be hard to compile. It would take time to figure out how to do that because, garages are very different. The construction is very different there. But that could be something that could be really cool.
All right, and then last one here, speaking of our international friends, the VW Kid 53 on Instagram wants to know, are there any updates on coming to Canada? A few people asked about that.
Well, I think we're still kind of taking, we're going to get there at some point. I'd like to be there this year. Depends on how well the Helen House does, how much money you guys give me, so that I can invest in the inventory that I would need to get there.
And your shirt, Supercars of Calgary wants to know, are there any more of those laying around, the courtesy Rev shirts on the GT3 days, in case you have a couple that never sold?
No, I think we still have these in stock, don't we?
I don't think so. I think those are long gone.
Are they? Oh.
I'll look real quick for.
I thought this was a current shirt.
Yeah.
I'm dying here.
That's good. It's $334. Yeah, the courtesy Rev shirt is gone.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no.
Sorry, Supercars.
All right, bros.
Sold out.
I'm going to go lay and cry myself to sleep.
And we will not be back next week, but we'll see what Fridays for the next few weeks bring, because Matt's going to be gone for a while.
Yeah.
Go buy some polishing soap, P21S, while you're...
Yeah, we finally have this stuff. I've been talking about that for a decade.
It's the German silversmith's choice, so it's fitting, I guess.
All right.
All right, we'll see you guys sometime
later
in the future.
See you later, people.